Hey, Cowboys Nation! Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the latest Cowboys updates, especially as things are heating up with the trade deadline right around the corner. It's been a tough season so far, and after a heartbreaking loss to the Falcons and Dak Prescott's injury, the Cowboys are looking to make some big moves. Before we dive into today's exclusive trade pitch rumor, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel and stay up to date on all things Dallas Cowboys. Coming off a 27-21 loss to the Atlanta Falcons, the Cowboys have dropped to a 3-5 record. The playoff picture is getting bleaker, especially with Prescott's latest injury blow, a hamstring issue that forced him out in the third quarter. Prescott's absence could stretch beyond this Sunday's divisional showdown against the Philadelphia Eagles, which has fans and team management weighing all possible options. Cooper Rush stepped in after Prescott went down and completed 13 of 25 passes for 115 yards and a touchdown. While Rush has a respectable record as a starter at 5-1, he's not exactly a high-volume passer, with just 9 touchdowns in his NFL career. Trey Lance, who was added as an intriguing backup, has also struggled to impress in preseason play, showing difficulty in handling pressure and avoiding turnovers. Given the situation, owner Jerry Jones might just be ready to make a bold move before Tuesday's trade deadline. According to sources, the Cowboys are exploring the market, and one name that's been thrown into the mix is Pittsburgh Steelers QB Justin Fields. With Prescott expected to miss multiple weeks, Dallas is reportedly considering Fields as a temporary yet dynamic replacement to keep them competitive in the NFC. Let's talk about Fields and why this trade pitch makes sense. The young quarterback was initially traded to the Steelers from the Bears and led the team to an impressive 4-2 start this season. Fields completed 106 of 160 passes, racking up 1,106 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. But that's not all. He's also added 231 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Fields' dual-threat capabilities could be the answer to the Cowboys' offensive challenges. With CeeDee Lamb currently dealing with an AC joint injury and the passing game already lacking depth, Dallas needs someone who can bring versatility and spark to an offense that ranks last in the league in rushing yards. Fields' mobility could draw defenders in, creating more room for running backs like Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott, opening up play-calling possibilities that have been missing this season. Another reason Fields could be a great fit is that he adds a fresh dynamic to an offense built around the idea of versatility. Although Rush is a steady pocket passer, Fields has the speed to scramble, the agility to escape defenders, and an arm that could connect with deep threats like Lamb and Brandon Cooks, should he return to the field. Bringing Fields in would allow Dallas to adapt to a more run-pass option offense, something we haven't seen much of this season. Here's where things get interesting. Fields is currently a backup in Pittsburgh, playing behind Russell Wilson, who recently returned from a calf injury. The Cowboys could potentially acquire Fields with a Day 3 draft pick, making it a relatively low-cost investment with a potentially high payoff. This type of trade wouldn't necessarily mean Dallas is giving up on Prescott. Rather, it's a strategic move to bring in a capable player who can keep the team competitive until Prescott is fully healed. And since Fields is still on his rookie deal, the financial burden would be minimal, which is key given the Cowboys' salary cap considerations. If Fields does join the Cowboys, fans could expect to see a more varied offense, one that doesn't have to rely on traditional pocket passing. For a team struggling with injuries and depth issues on offense, that kind of flexibility could be the difference between staying in the playoff hunt and watching the postseason from the sidelines. A player like Fields would open up the field for other playmakers and potentially help reduce the pressure on a receiving core that's been stretched thin. Speaking of receivers, Cowboys fans have been eagerly awaiting the return of Brandon Cooks, who has missed the last 4 games due to injury. Coach Mike McCarthy provided an update this week, stating that Cooks is feeling better, although his status for the upcoming Eagles game remains uncertain. With just 9 receptions for 91 yards and 1 touchdown this season, Cooks hasn't yet found his groove in Dallas, but his presence on the field would certainly give the offense a needed boost. Cooks' return, combined with a dynamic QB like Fields, could allow Dallas to finally start spreading the ball more effectively. In addition to Cooks' recovery, Dallas is holding its breath over CeeDee Lamb's health. Lamb has been carrying the offense this season but is now dealing with an AC joint injury, which could sideline him for a game or 2. If Lamb and Prescott are both out against the Eagles, Dallas could be facing a pivotal divisional matchup without 2 of its biggest stars on offense. Without Lamb and Prescott, Dallas offense will be looking at an uphill battle. McCarthy has to hope that Cooks can return soon and that other role players like Michael Gallup and Jake Ferguson can step up. Bringing in Fields would help mitigate the loss of Lamb by offering an alternative playstyle that doesn't rely solely on passing. Fields' ability to make plays on his feet could create opportunities for the run game to finally find some rhythm and bring balance to an offense that has been painfully one-dimensional. In last Sunday's game against the Atlanta Falcons, fans noticed something strange. Ezekiel Elliott wasn't even on the field. The Cowboys ended up losing 27-21, but for once, we can't pin the loss on Zeke's absence. In fact, the team had their best rushing performance of the season, racking up 137 rushing yards without him. But the real story here isn't just about stats. It's about what led to Elliott being sidelined in the first place. Sources say Elliott didn't travel with the team to Atlanta because he was benched for disciplinary reasons. According to Jane Slater from the NFL Network, Zeke has been habitually tardy this season, missing multiple team meetings. It seems the Cowboys coaching staff, led by Mike McCarthy, had had enough and decided to make a statement by not only benching him but letting the media in on the reasons behind his absence. It's rare for a team to go public like this, but maybe they were hoping the added pressure would push Zeke to get back on track. Dallas sits at 3-5 going into Week 10, and every game is critical from here on out. The loss to Atlanta was tough to swallow, especially because Dak Prescott is out with a hamstring injury, which means Cooper Rush will start in his place against the Eagles. And let's not forget CeeDee Lamb. He's dealing with an AC joint injury but will try to suit up and play. With Dak out and Lamb playing through pain, the Cowboys need all the healthy skill players they can get. This is where Ezekiel Elliott becomes so important. Zeke may not be the every-down back he once was, but he's still a powerful player who can bring energy and experience to the field. And, as of now, it looks like the Cowboys are giving him another shot. According to John Machota of The Athletic, the Cowboys have decided that last week's punishment was enough. Elliott will be active and available for the upcoming game against the Eagles. This is a crucial decision, as the team needs all hands on deck to take on their divisional rivals in Philadelphia. Head coach Mike McCarthy confirmed that Zeke will suit up on Sunday, so Cowboys fans can breathe a little easier knowing that their Pro Bowl running back will be back in action. While the discipline Zeke faced might seem harsh to some, it's clear that the Cowboys want to set a tone. Players need to be accountable, especially when the team is trying to stay alive in the playoff race. This move may actually benefit Elliott in the long run, as it gives him a chance to prove his dedication to the team. In Elliott's absence, Rico Dowdle has emerged as the leading running back for Dallas this season. Dowdle's been efficient and consistent, rushing for 321 yards on 71 carries, and the Cowboys seem to trust him with a heavier workload. Even though Dowdle doesn't have the flashy resume Zeke has, he's been getting the job done. Right now, Dallas is putting a lot of faith in him to keep the run game strong, especially as they navigate injuries and an unpredictable season. But here's the thing, Zeke's experience is still invaluable, especially in high-stakes games like the one coming up against the Eagles. Although Dowdle has the primary role, Elliott can bring a change of pace that could throw off defenses. He may not be the feature back he once was, but he can still be a weapon if used correctly. The Cowboys also recently brought in Dalvin Cook, a four-time Pro Bowler, to add some depth to the backfield. But so far, Cook's impact has been minimal, with just 20 yards on 8 carries. He's appeared in the last 2 games, but it's clear that the Cowboys are being cautious with his involvement. However, having Cook on the roster gives Dallas another option if Elliott struggles to find his rhythm after being sidelined last week. It's all hands on deck for the Cowboys right now, and every available player will likely see some action against the Eagles. Cook might not be putting up big numbers yet, but his experience and ability to make explosive plays could come in handy as the season goes on. So, where do we go from here? Elliott's recent discipline might actually be a turning point for him. It's a wake-up call that his role on this team isn't guaranteed, and he needs to show that he's fully committed to the Cowboys' success. We've seen players in the past come back stronger after a setback like this, and Zeke has the talent to be a difference-maker if he can keep his focus. Dallas needs him now more than ever. With Dak out, Lamb dealing with injuries, and a struggling offense, Elliott's ability to pound the ball and wear down defenses could be just what the Cowboys need to stay competitive in the NFC East. If Zeke can bring that intensity and commitment to the game, he can be a key factor in the team's push for the playoffs. So, Cowboys fans, we want to know what you think. Should Dallas make a move for Justin Fields? On one hand, he's young, has potential, and could provide the flexibility and spark the Cowboys desperately need right now. On the other, it's a risky move, especially with Prescott's eventual return in mind. Is Fields the answer for the Cowboys, Or should they stick with Cooper Rush and see if the existing roster can weather the storm? The Cowboys are at a turning point in their season, and the decisions made this week could make or break their playoff hopes. Fields could be the short-term solution to keep Dallas in the playoff race, but there's no guarantee he'll be the game-changer fans are hoping for. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all your Cowboys news and updates. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys!